Hey everyone, welcome to special presentation with Mike and Ethan. Or
Alf will not be seen tonight.
Mike, remind me, it seems to have slipped my mind. Do you like dinosaurs?
I do like dinosaurs, in fact. I think dinosaurs are the darndest things. I don't know a thing that means good that starts with D, but whatever it is, I
No,
think
it's no,
dinosaurs are it.
dinosaurs do the darndest thing. Oh no, it's the strangest
Dinosaurs
things.
do
That's
the
right.
strangest things. They do, in fact, do a lot of strange things. But yes, I do like dinosaurs, to answer your question.
Now, do you like Coca-Cola?
I do like Coca-Cola.
Well, great, because those are the two stars of today's show.
Oh, excellent. If you put a dinosaur bone in Coca-Cola, it dissolves overnight.
Oh wow, I thought it cleaned it, but
Oh, well, maybe it does that too.
yeah,
It
if you
does
put a
lot of
dinosaur
things.
bone into Coca-Cola, it drains the caramel coloring and you get clear Coke. That's where they got clear tab from.
Oh, damn. Well, see, I hope you're all taking notes and learning stuff from this very educational podcast. Well,
Yeah.
tonight's show about dinosaurs and Coca-Cola, what is the name of it?
It has multiple names. It is off when it was first released, it was simply called Dennis the Menace. But
Oh, it's
later,
got
what?
it's got Dennis the Menace in it.
Yes, yes, that's Dennis Mitchell, not Dennis that hangs out with Nasher, just so you know.
Yeah. Yes.
The one who is known in England as Dennis!
Yeah. No, this one though. This Dennis is a menace.
Yes.
And so Dennis the Menace, the movie.
Dennis the Menace 1987, not to be confused with Dennis the Menace 1993, which came out the same year as Jurassic Park, which is why this movie was also reissued on video that year under the name Dennis the Menace Dinosaur Hunter.
That is a better title for it because dinosaurs do play a fairly major role in this movie.
Yes. Now, I wouldn't say they play more of a role than Dennis. You never actually see a dinosaur. But,
No.
but it is about Dennis the Menace and dinosaurs and the year 1987. It's very 1987 in this film.
Yeah, it is. So it's got dinosaurs in it. It's got Coca-Cola products, and they. Yeah, it's a movie. It is a
Yeah,
movie that
it is a it is a very made-for-TV movie. The production values and cinematography remind me strongly of My Pet Monster.
Yes. It is, I'll say this about Dennis the Menace, dinosaur hunter. It is, I would not say this is the platonic ideal of like a made for TV kids movie, but it's pretty darn close. It's, it checks a lot of the boxes. So you watch it and you're like, that was nice. And then you forget about it.
Yes,
It's,
it's
it,
basically a feature-length educational short for kids from the 80s. It's like the Clean Club. This should be on
yeah.
Riff Tracks.
Yeah, it is. It does the made-for-TV kids movie thing where there is the threat of moving that comes up
Yeah.
in this movie. That you have to have that in a made-for-TV kids movie. It's always like there's the threat is is there a threat of moving? Sometimes you either are moving to a new neighborhood in the beginning of the movie, which is then sets up like, okay, we gotta like make new friends and shit, or there's a threat that like, oh, they're gonna develop your land and you have to move away from your friends. Like those, there's always something about moving in these movies.
Yes. You'd think that moving was the worst thing in the world, but how many times did you move before you were 18?
Well, let me count. Okay, so let me see. Stuttgart, Bucharest, Heidelberg, 9.
9? Okay,
Yes.
you've got me beat. I moved 8 times. So
Damn, pretty close though. Pretty close.
yes. I lived in 2 houses in Santa Cruz, 3 houses in San Diego, and 4 in Fresno before finally settling down.
Damn. Oh, wait a second. I just realized something. I actually moved. slightly more because I actually lived in 2 different apartments while we were in Berlin. So that brings up to 10. And I lived in a townhouse, 2 different townhouses before I moved to the house in Maryland. So that's another 3. So that is actually 13 moves altogether.
Wow, that is very impressive. That is a damn fine performance, soldier. Outstanding.
Well, I couldn't let you come that close. I was like, no, I'm gonna do a little bit of showboating here, like, no, come on, when you come for the king, you best not miss. I'm the most moving of all. All right. Anyway,
I got a moving violation.
Oh, you know what? You gotta keep on moving, or you'll be left behind, as Mr. Scruffs tells us.
Yeah.
But you know what, Ethan, you did a good effort. Good effort. You know what? Keep trying. Maybe someday you'll be the number 1 most moving guy around. I'm an asshole. Okay. Anyway, the important thing is Dennis Mitchell, Dinosaur Hunter. Capsule summary: Dennis the Menace finds a dinosaur bone, which sets off a series of events.
Yes. This movie is actually significantly more convoluted than I was expecting. Every character from the strip, except maybe Ruff, has some sort of plot element.
Yeah, there are a lot of subplots in this.
Yeah,
not
all of them go somewhere.
No, in fact, actually, now I'm thinking about it, like, a lot of them don't. But it is it's basically, it's an hour and a half, which feels like way too much movie for this much plot.
Yeah, I wonder if it was in fact intended for theatrical release.
I mean, it is from 1987, so it's hard to tell because when you watch a movie and there's no named actors in it, no name actors, you kind of assume, it's got to be made for TV. But 1987 was a different world. They didn't bank on star power every time. So
the stars have got to come from somewhere. So.
Yes, exactly.
At this point, we weren't always saying, well, why don't we just eat the seed corn?
This is let's see. So we've got the main plot here. Dennis discovers a dinosaur bone, and that causes his dad to ring up his old pal, Barkley
Bones Schuyler. Yeah,
Bones Schuyler, Barkley Bones Schuyler, who's now a famous paleontologist who comes and disrupts the neighborhood with all his digging. Meanwhile, what other plots have we got in this movie?
Okay. In addition, Dennis's mother, Alice, has become the president of the HOA or something, some sort of neighborhood association that I don't quite understand. And meanwhile, Dennis's dad is continuously being pulled into bigger and bigger scams, which are being pulled by Bones, who is not what he seems.
Yes.
And in addition, Mrs. Wilson wants to go back to Hawaii for her and George's 40th anniversary. And George refuses to pay for it, so she gets a job at the popcorn shop in the mall, and he has to do the housework while she's gone.
Yes.
And Margaret is constantly wanting to play bride and groom with Dennis, and he doesn't want to.
Yes. So
a lot goes on here, and a lot of it just kind of corkscrews into the ground rather than actually coming to any real conclusion.
Yeah, it kind of there's some weird zigzags in this movie, and I think that because they were so, it feels very much like, we concluded the movie too soon, we got to tack some more stuff on here.
Yeah,
but they forgot, you could also tack some more on there by actually concluding the plots you've already set in motion. No, we're not going to bother that. We're doing a new thing now. So but the main thing that I really took out of this film, that really fascinated me about this film, is Bones, the character of Bones Barkley
I
Bones.
I felt like Bones would probably fascinate you in kind of the same way as like oh, what was his name? Trader Dave.
Yes. So this is not what I expected, because when I saw that, like, oh, Dennis the Menace finds a dinosaur bone and and a dinosaur hunter gets involved, I pretty much expected a character kind of like, Dr. Schneider from My Pet Monster.
Yeah, yeah.
Like some guy who's I expected basically what would be is like some guy in a fussy little bow tie. He's like, I've got to get that dinosaur bone away from that menace and in the museum. And like he would basically be trying to sneak into the house to steal Dennis's dinosaur bone, but like slipping on like, roller skates and shit like that. Like that's kind of what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah,
And
this really, you really could have done, another fucking E.T. ripoff with this, where Dennis finds like a live dinosaur or something like that.
yeah, yeah. But instead, we get the character of Barkley Bones Shyster something. I forget.
Schuyler, yeah.
Tyler. Yeah. He is, well. First of all, when he shows up, I have to give him props for really leaning into the paleontology thing, because I don't know about you, Ethan, but if I were a paleontologist, this is exactly how I would dress and travel.
Yes, if you're a paleontologist, you really should dress like the crocodile hunter and ride around in an open top jeep, and
Yes. He looks real cool,
he
He's
does.
got
There is a you do not blame Dennis one bit for absolutely falling in love with this guy and being like, you're my new dad.
Yeah, that's another kind of subplot we forgot to mention, is that Dennis kind of starts patterning after Bones.
Yes,
and
even
his dad.
addressing his parents by their first names, as Bones says he did.
Yes, that's another subplot that doesn't really go anywhere, because it's not like Dennis in the end realizes, oh, he kind of sucks and my parents are good or anything, which
No, I
seems.
mean, Dennis is the key to getting Bones, getting Bones out of the neighborhood and gone. But two interesting things. One, it's completely guileless on Dennis's part. He just innocently blabs, as opposed to being like, that guy's a fraud. And
Yes.
two, there is no comeuppance for Bones. He just leaves.
Yeah, I was actually thinking like Dennis the Menace is kind of like a perfect Candide type character. His mind is like a blank slate.
Yeah.
He causes mayhem wherever he goes, but like has no concept like of anything. In fact, he's like head empty, no thoughts. It's not like. Yeah, even at the very end, he's like, "Oh, I don't understand that like Bones was pulling a scam here, and I also don't understand that like I shouldn't look up to him." Like those things are never addressed. It's just like, I guess it's kind of how the same way that he is completely unable to comprehend that like Mr. Wilson doesn't like him.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like, Dennis is just, is it just that Dennis can't, because Mr. Wilson is pretty, like, he's always like, great, it's Dennis. Oh. And Dennis is like, I also think it's great to see you. And it's like, Dennis, are you autistic? Because you seem very bad at reading people's like, facial expressions and tone of voice. That really puts the whole, actually, you know what? I have heard that it is, I've been told that like many autistic people in their youth not only have trouble recognizing, facial expressions and tone of voice, but also have difficulty with coordination and are kind of physically clumsy, and might through their clumsiness accidentally set off chains of wacky events. So I'm just saying that I feel like Dennis is very autistic coded, possibly the most autistic coded character since Ernest P. Warhol.
Yeah, I mean, and of course he comes from a time when we didn't even use that phrase. So, I mean,
Yes.
we knew what autism was, but we didn't realize that, like, basically 40 to 50% of everyone we met on the street were.
Yeah.
We thought of it as specifically being like the kind of thing where you stare into light bulbs for hours and spin pennies.
Yeah. Yeah. Though I noticed, like, my whole theory of media theory of media theory. The only way that I interpret media is like I literally spin a dial and everything is either like this is autism coded or this is a trans narrative. Those are the two ways I interpret everything, apparently. So, but anyway.
Okay, well, let's try it. Let's find an example. Okay, let's try and spin Dennis the Menace as a African American narrative. Dennis
Oh
the
my
Menace
God.
is clearly coded to, as a child whose innocence is mistaken for malevolence. So I feel like someone's eventually going to argue that he has like oppositional defiance syndrome or something.
You, you know, you heard it here first. We just blew the lid off of Dennis the Menace.
Yes. Dennis, secretly black coded. You never would have guessed. Hank
Yeah.
Ketchum certainly wouldn't have.
No, well, that's why. How often do you? I mean, when you hear politicians say that someone is a menace, you know what that means.
Yes.
Yeah.
It means, it means they want pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah, on my desk. I want some sexy, sexy pictures of Spider-Man on my desk right now. Anyway, Dennis, he's so basically this dude shows up. He's Dennis's dad's old frat buddy.
Yes. And both Dennis's dad, George, and his wife, Alice, have fond, if rather muddled memories of this guy from college. I guess Alice went to college with George? I don't know. Or not George. Wait, what is his name?
Is it Hank?
George is Mr. Wilson. Oh, it's not Hank, no.
It's not Hank? Okay. No. So, then I don't know, actually. Let's look it up.
All I know is that he looks like Clark Kent, and that, again, I used to, for a great portion of my life, I was with a woman whose big fetish as far as men go are guys who look like beaky, bespectacled Ichabod cranes, and she would have fucking loved this guy.
Oh, geez.
Made me wonder what she saw in me, but it worked out for a while.
I'm sorry, Ethan. This is none of my beeswax, but I'm just imagining the role play in the bedroom was like, yeah, just like, well, I'm coming in on stilts, wearing like a fake stork beak with a giant
show me the way to the archery contest.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so to answer your question, it looks like his dad's name is Henry.
Henry, yeah. So I guess it is Hank. Duh.
Yes. I will say that, like, with the actor that they got to play Henry Mitchell, it looks amazingly like the cartoon version of this character.
Everyone looks amazingly like the cartoon version. I mean, I was really impressed by how close Mrs. Wilson looks to the cartoon version. Although, actually, Mr. Wilson, much less so.
Yes, there is one unforgivable sin in this movie. Like, this movie is pretty all right. It's fine. It's I think as a Dennis the Menace adaptation, it's pretty decent. But there's one unforgivable sin.
The one we never forgive.
Yes. That's why they call it the unforgivable sin. Well, that is, and I think you know what it is. It's Mr. Wilson.
1, 2, 3. No mustache.
Yes. So, which is, to me, bonkers, because it's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson has no mustache, and it's like, I'm sorry, did the actor like say, no, man, I'm not growing a mustache? It's like, just grow a mustache. Yeah. It's an iconic look for Mr. Wilson.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, did you have some other, your artistic integrity was too good to, you didn't want to compromise by growing a mustache for the Mr. Wilson role?
I can only guess that understand, we know Dennis the Menace primarily as a comic strip, but the boomers watching this on Sunday night or whatever in 1987, they remembered Dennis the Menace as a sitcom. And on the sitcom, Mr. Wilson, or at least the first Mr. Wilson, did not have a mustache.
That is, I'm sorry, but like that is unacceptable.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like, I'm sorry, but like, it's just grow. I'm sorry, you can't grow a mustache. You're going to be on this show for like what, a couple, multiple episodes, every episode for seasons, for years, and you're not going to grow a mustache.
Yes,
just grow, or put a fake one on. I don't know. Yeah. This is like if you saw the that movie Casper.
Yeah, Casper. Yeah.
Yeah, where Dan Aykroyd makes a cameo as Ray Stantz, and he has a mustache. And it's like, why do you have a mustache? Oh, I'm not going to shave the mustache. Ray Stantz doesn't have a mustache. Your job as an actor is to embody the character. Oh my God. Anyway,
he's pulling a Cesar Romero on us.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like, and this was before they could like CG it out like they did with Henry Cavill's mustache.
Yeah, it looks absolutely
Superman.
Terrible.
Oh my God, it looks awful. Hey, so did you know, this is unrelated, but kind of related, Sigourney Weaver in Alien 3.
Mustache?
No, but in the final scene, she's wearing a really terrible bald cap.
Oh, No, in Alien 3? I don't think I've seen that one. Actually, I don't think I've seen any of them. I haven't seen Alien because I sat down to watch it, and then like 15 minutes later, I was like, I've seen this. I haven't seen the actual movie, but I have seen every shot from this movie has already been parodied somewhere. I've seen it piecemeal.
Well. Okay, so Alien 3, for reasons, Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, has to shave her head. Okay? The in-universe reason is that she crash lands on this planet where it's like a prison and everyone shaves their heads because there's like fleas or something. But I think the real reason is the director was just into it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so she shaves her head, so she's bald throughout the movie. And then at the very last scene, she's wearing a really terrible bald cap. What's the deal here? Well, it turns out Sigourney Weaver didn't like shaving her head, so she had a clause in the contract that if she had to shave her head a second time, they owe her a big fuck ton of money for that. And it turns out that they wanted to reshoot the ending months later. And so they were like, well, we don't want to pay her more money to shave her head again, so just put a bald cap on her.
Well, that's how you do it, really.
Yeah.
I am impressed.
Anyway. Yeah. The studio was like, no. We're not putting more money into this turkey because Alien 3, not the most well regarded of Alien movies.
No. It's not like the Alien trilogy is not like the Metroid trilogy that it inspired, where the third one is the best one. No, with Alien, the third one is the worst one.
Yeah. Although while it is while it's far below the first two Aliens, it is still far above any Alien that came after the first the trilogy.
I did see whatever the one was that came after it, where there's like this awful flesh-colored half alien at the end.
Oh, is that the Joss Whedon one?
It might be, yeah. Although I don't think it was actually advertised as a Joss Whedon. No, isn't Alien 3 the Joss Whedon one?
No, that's the David Fincher one.
Oh, okay. But I thought he wrote it.
No, he wrote like 4 or 5.
Okay, yeah, I think it was 4, yeah. Alien Resurrection, is that it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Where it's not really, Ripley herself, it's a clone that was somehow cloned with the alien intact in her body.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. I didn't know how that worked.
Well, it's one of those things where that was when Joss Whedon, he was still a niche guy, so I don't know how much credit he got for that one because I don't think his name would have put more butts in seats at that point.
No. That was still, I think, pre or during Buffy.
Yeah, that was back when he would continuously write movies that would he would write scripts for terrible movies and then say, "Oh, the studio ruined it. It was actually good when I wrote it." And it's like, okay, gee, that keeps happening to you. Okay, how weird.
Yeah, I know he did a script for Toy Story, and he did a script for he did a script for X-Men, and thankfully they kept one line from his script, and it turned out to be the best line of the whole movie.
What's
The
that
one
line?
where the line where Wolverine and Mystique have been fighting, and when Wolverine comes out, everyone's on their guard, and he's like, "No, it's me, it's me." And Cyclops is like, "Prove it." Wolverine goes, "You're a dick." Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. There's the X-Men movies had some good bits.
They did, yeah.
I'll give Joss Whedon credit for that one. That was a good one. Okay. Anyway, back to Dennis the Menace.
Yes.
But
let's see how many other Ghostbusters actors we can mention now that we've brought up Sigourney Weaver and Ray. Ray, whose name I can't remember.
Ray Stantz.
Yeah, the other guy. Yeah.
Oh, you mean the guy who plays him?
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hard name to remember. Like, have you ever met another Aykroyd?
I have never met an Aykroyd. I don't even know what kind of name that is.
But I've never met anyone with my last name either. But who wasn't related to me. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, fair. Well, anyway, so the important thing is Dennis's life is turned upside down by this scientist. You know who else is a scientist? Egon Spengler.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Played by
That
Harold
man's a
Ramis.
scientist.
Yep, there. Yeah. All right. So we got three Ghostbusters actors mentioned. Yeah. Okay. So the scientist, he shows up. He's dressed like the crocodile hunter. He wears a kind of Indiana Jones hat. He's real cool. He's pretty suave. Kind of. He's a trickster figure.
Yeah.
He's
got a bandana. He's got a peacock feather in his hat.
Yep. His whole bit is that he is. He starts digging up the Mitchell's front yard to find more dinosaur bones, and it causes a real big stir, because suddenly the house is overrun with reporters and paleontologists and tourists, and it's a real mess. But the problem is he is not finding any other dinosaur bones, because it turns out that dinosaur bone that he found was deposited there by some traveling Indians.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess that would make sense, because don't you normally find them embedded in rock, not loose soil?
Yeah, and I mean, usually I feel like even if they were in loose soil, I feel like they might be a little bit lower down than like a small child would find it while digging for a sprinkler system, less like 2 inches under the topsoil.
Yes, so, that's the reason that Dennis finds the bone, is because his dad wants to install a sprinkler system himself to save money, because the installation of the sprinkler system is going to cost $375.
1987.
1987, man. And
it was a different
and that was
time.
without the PVC piping.
Yeah, that's only labor for the digging, I believe. So that is why Dennis recruits his friends to dig instead, and he recruits Joey, who we all know from the strip.
Yes, Pee-wee, who I don't remember from the strip.
No, but this type of kid. He's the by my calculations kid.
Right, and thankfully Gina is in this, and I was really delighted to see Gina.
Gina, this is the only time I've ever seen Gina outside of the animated series. Yeah, and I don't believe she was in any other Dennis the Menace media. Well, I guess she's in the original comic strip. Yeah. Gina is always an interesting character because she's like the tomboy. She's the cool girl, and so she is always the only character who is like dressed like it's the
like
time
it's the current year.
Yes, yeah. Like everyone else is frozen in like their 1950s duds, but she is like, if in a 1987 movie, she's going to dress like it's 1987.
Yeah, for real. Look at the apron that Alice is wearing when she's serving breakfast.
Yeah. And
got enough ruffles there.
Yeah, and boy, that I gotta say that house moo they put Mrs. Wilson in, not flattering.
No, she looks a lot better in her jogging outfit.
Yeah. That's the thing, is when you see her when she's not wearing that, she looks like a human. Yeah. She's like, oh yeah. But so Gina, she comes to help us. Also, there's a bit where like Margaret comes, and Margaret, of course, is wearing she's wearing 18 layers of crinoline. She's dressed like one of those like she's like a Japanese lolligoth.
Yeah, she's. I was gonna say she's dressed up like Mrs. Beasley, but yeah, that too.
Yes. Yeah. And she's after Dennis to like play house, with
Yeah,
her.
she has this obsessive need to play house with Dennis. It's like, don't you know any other boys?
I mean, you know how it is. You know how it is.
Better
when you have
yet,
a
ask
crush.
Gina to be your husband. She'd probably say
Well,
yes.
Well, this movie is from 1987. It's not going to
Yeah.
get that progressive. But that's the thing is like, when you're that age and you have a crush,
Yeah.
you'll take
She
any.
appears to be about twice Dennis's age.
Yeah, she's got braces, I think, doesn't she?
Yeah, I would think she was like, yeah, she seems to have her adult teeth, as opposed to Dennis, who is always 5.5.
I will say I actually feel like the was Margaret in the she was in the theatrical Dennis the Menace.
Yes, but she was like younger. She was about Dennis's age in that one.
Okay, I remember that now. So I have to say, I really feel like the kids in this version are like way better than the kids in the theatrical version.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they still haven't given Joey his shaved head. I don't know why they are so, resistant to. Oh, it's probably because if they shaved his head and then just gave him one big lock in the front, he'd look like Charlie Brown.
Yeah. And Charles Schultz is like, nobody that steals my look.
Yeah, so Joey always gets his look changed in live action. So, but in the 1993 movie, he was also kind of chubby, and not so much here. He definitely
No.
comes across much more as Dennis's kind of half-wit sidekick.
Yeah, which is kind of how he comes across in the strip, I think, mostly.
I mean, I have kind of the wrong idea about Joey, because if you ask me to think of a strip with Joey in it, I think of the one that they got the caption messed up with for The Far Side. Yeah, oh brother, not hamsters again.
I see your tiny petrified skull labeled on a
That would be appropriate for this movie. Too bad they didn't
Yeah.
squeeze that in.
No, I think I mean the thing is Joey's personality is basically like, look, Dennis needs someone to deliver a quip to, so he's pretty undeveloped in the strip.
Yeah.
I think
He
they
probably
make him
doesn't get
into-
a lot of lines now that I think of it. But
No, the animated series kind of makes him into like a little bit of a very much a Johnny from Ed and Eddie type character. But no, not Johnny. Who is
Plank?
the little?
I can't name any other Ed and Eddie characters.
No, not the. Who is the one who has the plank? Is that Johnny? Not that one.
I don't know.
The little kid who's like got the weird like headgear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's all you need to know.
But anyway, Margaret, I feel like these kids actually do a little bit more acting than the ones in the theatrical version.
Yeah. So this is right up there with In Search of Dr. Seuss, and the characters being way better done for a TV movie than for the theatrical movie.
Yeah, I think the thing is, the theatrical movie was really banking on the fact that, like, look, they're gonna just be cute little lisping Muppets. Whereas in this one, there is some attempt to like Margaret is like really dedicated to her role.
Yeah,
like,
she's really
into
taking it seriously. Honestly, the actress is, she may be the MVP for this movie.
Yeah. She's bringing a lot to the role, and Margaret is. I mean, it's good. Margaret is a meaty role,
Yeah,
It's
it feels like might be a real fan of the strip and be like, yes, I can really bring Margaret to life. I know this character inside and out.
Yeah, it's a good role. Lets you ham it up a little bit. So, so that's good. I think it's probably like it's the Hamlet of child actor roles.
Yes.
You can really like, oh, you get to play Margaret.
Yes. If I play my cards right, I could get a spinoff. Next up, I'll be starring in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
I did think the one bit that was kind of funny where Margaret is like trying to get Dennis to play with her bride dolls
Yeah.
but I think she's got like some sort of perfume on or something, and Dennis is not having it, and Margaret is just like, well, if you were a girl you'd like it, and Gina just gets up in her face and is all like, I'm a girl and I think it's disgusting, and it's like, I'm sorry, Gina, Dennis isn't gonna fuck you. She's a real pick-me, Gina here, but
Oh,
I mean,
they do actually play up the kind of chemistry that Dennis has with Gina, and there's a strip where Dennis is like, sometimes I don't understand the things that Gina says, and his dad says, "Wait."
yeah, I mean that's true. There is a lot of Dennis is definitely has a little more of a crush on Gina than Margaret.
Yeah.
But I think that's why Gina appears relatively rarely in the strip, because they're not really foils.
Yeah.
She appears mostly as like she's kind of like the little redhead girl.
Yeah. And she's, sometimes she appears just as Margaret's friend. I know that.
Yeah,
I know I've
yeah.
seen at least one with the two of them hanging out, playing together on their own time.
Yes, and then she does appear a lot more in the animated series. Is Gina? Now here's a question: is Gina ethnic?
Yes, she's supposed to be Italian. Her full name is like Gina Ginalotti or something like that.
Oh wow! I always my whole life I thought she was Asian.
Oh, right up there with Marcia or Marcy.
Yeah, Marcy.
Who's Marcia?
So yeah, now we have, boy, look at me. I'm real problematic mixing up Italians and Asians. Okay, well, anyway, but the important thing is that this guy, Barkley Bones, shows up. He is digging for dinosaur bones. He's causing a big stir. He doesn't find any extra dinosaur bones because, as we established, that one bone was deposited there by wandering Indians, apparently.
Yes.
So
not overnight, just like 100
no.
years or so ago.
Yeah.
Why this nomadic group had a dinosaur bone on them, is lost to time. But
yes, who knows? Well, it's a mystery. But he comes up with a plan to basically bury dinosaur bones on the Wilsons' property, so he can just do the same scam all over again, except with the Wilsons now, because Hank. That's the thing, is like the Mitchells kind of complain that they're turning he's turning their house to a circus, so he's like, all right, I'm leaving, and he just goes next door. Yeah. So it's like, oh, they solved the issue, but I guess we had some more time to kill in this movie. So,
and another kind of character arc that we get in this is that Henry has a really hard time saying no to his old college friend. There is a scene where, after Alice pushes him to tell him, you gotta cut him out, tell him that he has to go home, and Bones, as soon as Henry comes out, is like, there he is, there's Blow By Mitchell. We call him that because he would blow by anything on the road, and he gets Henry to try out his motorcycle with a sidecar, and there's a little bit of havoc, but he also has a lot of fun. So there's a little bit of like, choosing, the life you have now over, fantasizing over still being young.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that's a kind of an introduced but not really developed theme of the movie, because there is at the very end when when they kind of part ways, and Dennis's dad is all like, I looked up to you. If only I knew that you were a jerk now. And Bones is like, you've changed. You're no fun anymore. So yeah, it's kind of this idea of looking forwards versus looking backwards in life. But we also learned that for whatever reason, Bones is kind of his career is on the fritz for reasons.
Yeah. Is it, or is he just making excuses? I'm not.
I mean, that's true. It's never really established.
It could be that he's running out of suckers. So
yeah. I mean, I guess it's also possible he's not in trouble at all. He's just saying that to make Dennis's dad feel sorry for him and let him keep doing this. It's just also, this movie has a very strange idea of what paleontology involves.
Yeah, I don't think they actually consulted any paleontologists about this.
No, no. They do the thing where they have the like grids of like, like little rope set up, which
Yeah.
but otherwise they really seem to think like every time they find a bone, you get like weeks and weeks of media coverage.
Yeah, and that every time you find a bone, it's from a different dinosaur.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like when they find it, he says it's a Compsosaurus or something.
Camptosaurus, yeah.
Camptosaurus. So it's like, okay, this is not really, and he's acting like this is the greatest discovery of all time. It's like it's a dinosaur. You knew it instantly. So clearly, this bone is not like a new species.
Yeah.
It's not even part of a dinosaur you've never seen before. Not part of. It's not a specific bone on a dinosaur that hasn't been seen before because you recognize it so fast. So yeah, it's really this isn't really worth that much at all. But we suspended disbelief for the movie. I do think it's funny that I will say this thing about like Bones though. His hat is doing a lot of heavy lifting for how cool he is.
Yeah.
Because when he takes his hat off, you're just like, oh, he looks like a nerd.
Yeah, he's just a 40-year-old man like me.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like part of the issue is that like his haircut is not doing him any favors. It's just this very like, it's the haircut that you get when you're like, well, I have a job, so I have to, I have to look presentable. So you go to the barber and you just say, give me the 40-year-old man haircut.
Well, it's better than Mr. Wilson's haircut, which is like, give me the 60-year-old Hitler.
Yeah, I was actually. I was going to say that like Mr. Wilson not only has no mustache, but he also has hair in this one. So
yeah,
he's
it really just feels like Ernest Borgnine in Merlin's Shop of Mystical Wonders.
I think. Yeah, and it's a shame because I do think he comports himself well as Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, I think he's performs Mr. Wilson quite well actually. They just didn't give him the look.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of everyone in this movie. I think everyone in this movie is bringing their A game. They're all very good at embodying the characters from the strip. Again, in general, better than the actual theatrical film.
Yes. Actually, I have to say, I really like the Martha Wilson in this better than the other one. I think it did lend her a sort of gravitas, but I think the one from the 1993 film, her Britishness was too on display.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think this Martha Wilson is she has
a lot more energy.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She's a little more like I feel like her I feel like there was an edge to the 90s Mrs. Wilson where it felt like she was she liked Dennis almost despite her husband, whereas this one feels a little more like her affection for Dennis feels a little more genuine, I think.
Yes.
And Walter Matthau is a good Mr. Wilson, but he always feels like Walter Matthau.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little hard to look past the fact that it is Walter Matthau. It is the guy from Grumpy Old Men. So,
yes.
It is the guy from IQ, if that's your first thought.
Yeah. It's he's it's Walter Matthau, so it's like he's born to play either like Mr. Wilson or Saddam Hussein. He just has the look. But but this actor, I think brings a little more of the. It's interesting that like the little more of the Mr. Wilson that we see in the comic strip, because he is not. I guess they didn't want to have like a thing at the end where they softened it, because like in the movie they were like, we have to soften the end, so now Mr. Wilson just decides that Dennis is good because he feels bad after yelling at him.
Yeah,
whereas in this one,
if there had been more of a character arc for Mr. Wilson, because there definitely isn't one for Dennis, that movie would have been a lot better.
Yes, yes. This movie, I mean, Mr. Wilson doesn't have a whole lot of a character arc regards to Dennis because he's still at the very end. He's like, whenever I'm feeling great, Dennis has the cure. He's just every bit as cranky and miserable as always
Mhm.
at the end. Although he does kind of have an arc with regards to Mrs. Wilson.
Yeah,
Um,
he. This is kind of an interesting take on Mr. Wilson in that there is a sort of political bent to him. You hear him talking about Russia. You hear him.
yeah,
He's.
yeah,
I think he cites where he served in World War II.
yeah. Um, Yes, yes. Also, he is a retired postal worker, which they mention in the theatrical movie. I didn't realize that was canonical, but I guess
Yeah.
that might actually be from the
It,
strip. So,
yes, and Henry working at in the aerospace industry is also canonical. So,
oh, okay. I was not aware of that either. So that's
so
interesting.
that's it's very interesting when they do that with comic strip characters. I always think of Bill Watterson talking about how a generic office job is never as funny as something specific. So he made Calvin's dad a patent attorney. So,
Yes.
and it actually comes up in like a couple of strips where Calvin actually seeks help with getting a patent. So,
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot that that actually came into play. Um, So in this one, yeah, so everyone's pretty good. Like we said, the kids are way better than the kids in the '90s version.
yeah.
But Mr. Wilson's arc is interesting because he, basically, like we said, Mrs. Wilson wants to go to Hawaii. Mr. Wilson is kind of like, man, I want to pay for it. So Mrs. Wilson gets a job and she's going to pay to go to Hawaii and take. She's going to pay to take Mr. Wilson to Hawaii, is what she says. And is does Mr. Wilson know why she's getting a job? I'm not sure if he's actually in the
Yeah, she
loop
does
about
say
that.
so, and he sort of he sort of grumbles about it, but he's just like, she's gonna come crawling back
I
afterward.
feel yeah, I feel like this is a guy, a classic type of guy. A guy who does not realize who does not see the how fragile his marriage has become. You
Yeah.
know, and I think that's why we have that one scene where he finally goes down to the mall to meet Mister Boggity Figgy or whatever it is.
Well, I'm trying to find his name on the list here, and I'm not seeing it. It's like, but no, yeah, there is a bit of a bit of jealousy going on. Mr. Wilson sees his wife being picked up for work by her boss, and it's a man her own age, but he's trimmer. He's clearly makes more money, and you can see Mr. Wilson's knees begin to knock at the idea that who is this guy that is being so nice to my wife?
Yeah. And he actually goes down to the store and kind of has this little like pissing match with the boss, where
Yes.
where Mr. Wilson is like, oh, I'm not actually retired. Actually, I keep busy. I do lots of stuff. When this guy is talking about having too much energy to be retired. So I think
And to her credit, Martha's like, "Oh yeah, you definitely are. Yeah, you jog every day. I've seen it."
yeah. So I think like then she though this doesn't really again, it doesn't really go anywhere. This kind of gets dropped, though we assume
Yeah,
that like
she just quits her job to join the protest against the dinosaur dig.
but we didn't even mention the dinosaur theme park.
Oh yeah, there's a dinosaur theme park. No wonder they re-released this in 1993 along with Jurassic Park.
Yes. So apparently it's some because like we see that like Bones keeps going to Henry's boss and saying, "Oh, Henry has this great idea to get that you should give me money," and Henry's boss is like, "That's a great idea, Mitchell. You're going places." And Henry's like, "Oh, I want to be part to this deception. Oh, I don't like it." But eventually, Bones goes to basically the boss and says, because he's been getting Henry's boss to finance the dinosaur dig. But then he goes back to Henry's boss and says, you should finance the construction of a dinosaur theme park. on the site where we found the dinosaur bones, which apparently means using eminent domain to buy up and destroy all the houses in the Mitchell's neighborhood.
Yeah, was that an option at the time?
I do not think that is. I do not think that is how
I mean,
it works.
he is in aerospace. I mean, are they a government? Is it a government contract?
I mean, it might be. I guess it's similar in the vein of how, like, whenever a city decides, like, yeah, we want to build a stadium, and then they're just like, oh, yeah, that's a public good, eminent domain. All you poor people, get the hell out of here. So I guess they could do it, and there's precedent. But this is a swanky suburban neighborhood, so not really the sort of place that you usually just do that sort of thing. Also, it's funny that they're like literally Henry's boss is like, I'm gonna destroy your house, which is kind of strange. And then he's like forcing Henry to like go up on stage during the grand unveiling and talk about how great it is that they're gonna like destroy his house.
They really should have played it up. They should have been like, "Yeah, go up there, Henry. Tell them how excited you are about seeing the wrecking ball take out your nasty little shack here."
Yeah, it's like just it's just funny because it's like his boss just doing like they're just force stomping him. Like, yeah, that's right. Beg for grovel for my amusement. But when they go to talk about, when they go to the grand, the event where they're unveiling this idea, there's a protest going on against Dinosaur Land, which it's Alice comes in and says, "I'm with you guys, even though you kicked me off the HOA for
which they did."
Yeah, which they did, because too many dinosaurs. So they accept her, and she's part of the protest, and they're walking around the protest.
And they chant, "No more digging. Dinosaur hunters go home. Down with Dinosaur Land. No more digging." And they did that like 30 times.
I did like the one that had the sign that said, "Leave Lacertillians leave," because that is the first time I've ever seen Lacertillian actually used in a sentence.
Yeah.
Good on them. I don't think that word has been in use since 1800. But anyway, Henry gets up on stage. All the people who are protesting are like, "Boo, how could you do that?" And he's all like, I disagree with Dinosaur Land. It's bad. We should fight it." And Mr. Wilson is clapping, and Mrs. Wilson shows up, and he's like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" And she's like, "I quit my job to come here and protest with you." And it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's the end of that subplot.
Yeah. And the end of the subplot with Alice, because obviously she doesn't get elected president again.
Right. The Margaret subplot kind of has a sort of ending. It's like a joke ending, but it's an ending where Dennis's mom says, like, "Well, as a girl, what you should be doing to win Dennis's affection is show interest in what he likes, because you've been doing it wrong the whole time. You've been trying to get Dennis to show interest in what you're into." And it's like, as we know, ladies, men don't work that way. It's like that is a losing game. You're never gonna get your man to give half a shit about your candles or your rocks or whatever things that you're into.
You got to learn to fake like you're into Fortnite.
That's right. You're good. Let me tell you, ladies. Let me tell you, girlfriend. When you're in a relationship with a man, you're gonna have to get used to faking a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
Man, if Alice had said that to Margaret, this movie would be an A+.
That would, my God, if they did that, the censors would never allow it. Standards and practices would bury this movie. But that would be hysterical.
Oh, speaking of standards and practices, did you notice that George and Martha sleep in separate beds?
I did, which
like Ernie and Bert.
It's like I don't want. We're like we do not want to imagine that these old people ever fucked. Please no.
Well, I mean, they have no kids. Maybe they haven't.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's possible. Is that just maybe old people just slept in separate beds in those days or something?
I don't think
don't
old
know.
people ever actually slept in separate beds, no matter what
Yeah.
the decade was.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. I feel like old people hopefully still enjoyed each other's company enough to sleep in a big bed with their wife or whatever instead of a racing car. I don't know. It's what I'm going to do when I'm old. Sleep in a big racing car with my wife. In a big racing car with my wife. Best of both worlds. Anyway, oh man, I'm really disappointed now that Alice didn't give Margaret that talk. But in any case, Alice says you gotta fake interest in Dennis's dumbass interests, and Dennis is really into fucking dinosaurs right now. So get with a program, you fucking little four eyes. Go, Alice is a lot nicer about it, but
Yeah,
like
she is.
she isn't like, listen, Poindexter.
Yeah.
Do I have to keep
Take off
explaining this shit?
Take off those glasses. Who do you think you are, John Flansburgh? What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. So you're never gonna get dick when you're with looking like this. Come on, God, who were you? Jeez. So she tells Margaret fake some interest in Dennis's dinosaurs. So Margaret goes to Dennis and she's all like, I love dinosaurs. I think they're real cool. And Dennis is like, really? Okay, well, let's play dinosaurs. And Margaret is like, all right, well, this is the dad dinosaur. This is the mom dinosaur. These are the baby dinosaurs, which is very funny, I thought.
Yeah.
She's playing house, the thing she constantly wants to do, except with dinosaurs instead of, which is very funny. And also like, yeah, that's exactly what like a little girl would do.
Yeah, for real. But you know what little boys do with their dinosaurs, of course. They play they play the delightful game. He's eating all the pennies. He's eating all the pennies.
Oh yeah, because he used to be hollow. Oh man, you used to like, dinosaurs used to be hollow. Like they would use the big mouth of the Tyrannosaurus. You just fill them with stuff and then they can throw up. Yeah, that was. See, kids today they don't have the hollow dinosaurs anymore.
If you had the right one, you could almost fit a Star Wars figure down there.
Almost. So yeah, man, I remember when I was a kid, I was playing house with these kids, this group of kids. I didn't want to play house. I did not want to play house. I was trying to get around it by like, being like, I'm gonna be the house cat, because I'm a furry, and I was like, I'm just gonna be the house cat, which just means I'm gonna do cat stuff. But they were like, okay, they were like, no, you have to play dual roles. I had to play both, so I also had to play the boyfriend of this one girl there. And I remember because what she was trying to call me on the telephone, right? Mm-hmm. And I was just like I would pick, it was ring, and I'd pick up the phone and say, hello, goodbye, just hang up immediately, right? Now, the phone that I was using, the object that I was using as a pretend telephone was a ceremonial African knife. So finally, this is trouble's a brewing. The one girl, not the girl who's playing the girlfriend. I think this other girl who's kind of trying to play matchmaker between us was getting really frustrated with me. So she finally took the knife and she was like, "No, you have to use it as a phone." And she was trying to just put it in my ear, but she stabbed me with it. And and I don't think it actually injured me very much.
But it was a good excuse to get out of playing house, right?
Oh, yeah. I think it nicked me slightly. But, of course, I was screaming bloody murder and, had ice pack on it for the rest of the day, lying in bed like, oh, I'm dying, But
better than House.
Better than House. I was not a big fan of House. No. I didn't want to date no gross girl back then. That was how it is. I wanted to play with dinosaurs.
These days, when kids play house, they're like, "It's lupus."
Yo, that's right. Yeah, maybe they did at one point. That's at this point that's kind of obscure.
Valid. Yep.
It's like, yeah, it was like, kids, if you play, ask your parents.
Yeah, that was probably 20 years ago, actually.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, so that is a conclusion of Margaret's storyline. But as we're saying, everyone is clapping about Henry taking a stand against Dinosaur Land.
Oh yeah, we actually get the whole slow clap thing where first it's Dennis and then like Mrs. Wilson, and slowly you get everybody clapping.
It is funny because he says something that's incredibly popular with the crowd, but they don't think to clap immediately.
Well, I think it's because what he did was he quit his job. He said, if you're going to make me put my job ahead of my neighborhood and the community that I'm a part of, then I can't be part of this job.
It is a very 1987 conclusion to this movie.
Yeah. It's a little bit UHF-ish.
Yes. I'm not complaining because like these are the kinds of stories that we tell ourselves, traditionally, to give our world meaning and to understand things. I just feel like we're in such a different world right now that the idea of like, I need to like, just taking a moral stand and quitting your job is just kind of like not a thing that you can do anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone
everyone says, you have to keep it real. The idea of selling out died in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Because
so this is
it was important to survive.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean selling out was replaced with in this economy.
Yes, exactly. So this is kind of refreshing to see, to see a simpler time. And of course, as you can well imagine, whenever a character does this thing where they take a big moral stand and quit their job and tell their boss, who's been kind of pushing around to stuff it, the boss is always very impressed with their chutzpah and is like, you need to be promoted, actually. And, that's fairly expected when that happens.
Yes.
But
isn't that what Ebenezer Scrooge did?
Pretty much. Well, no, actually, because did Bob Cratchit actually ever stand up to Ebenezer
No,
Scrooge?
he didn't. He just kind of he just kind of pulled a prank on Bob by showing up unexpectedly at his house and saying you get I ought to raise your salary for this. No, wait, what?
Yeah, so Bob Cratchit pretty much doesn't do anything. He never stands up to Scrooge. He lets Scrooge push him around, and he's like, God, one of these days, 3 ghosts are going to make that guy feel sorry, and then things are going to change. I just got to wait for that.
Yeah.
That's
why it's nice to have when, like, say, Piggy in the role of Mrs. Cratchit, who is, voicing her complaints with him.
Well, there's a reason everyone agrees that the Muppet Christmas Carol is the best version.
Yes. Well, now it's because they grew up with it. But, I mean, it stands up on its own even if you didn't. So.
I mean, there are a lot of versions, and it is definitely... I think it's a very hard choice between the Muppets and Alistair Sim version. They're both really good. But those two are miles above every other version,
Yeah, the only one that I would say compares is not the movie, but the audio recording of Patrick Stewart's one-man show.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that one.
Because they did do eventually a movie with Patrick Stewart as Scrooge, which does have a lot of good stuff in it that gets left out of a lot of productions. I really liked the scene where the Ghost of Christmas Present is taking him to where people on a ship are celebrating Christmas all by themselves, but the version where he does all the voices is a lot better.
There is, I think a lot of people go up to the Disney version, and that one leaves a lot out.
Yeah, Mickey's Christmas Carol. I mean, that is short.
Yes.
I mean, it's not as short as that Christmas Carol starring Annie and Daddy Warbucks that we saw, where they couldn't even include all the ghosts.
That one was, but I like that one just because it was so bonkers.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the most demented things that we've watched for this show, and that's saying something.
Yeah, it really is.
But Yeah, but most of the Christmas carols are fine. Most of them are fine. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Jim Carrey version, but
Yeah, I haven't seen that one actually.
I'm sure someone likes it. I'm sure that Robert Zemeckis liked it.
Well, while I
But
wasn't looking, Elf became a Christmas classic, and I'm like, really? Well, whatever.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Is I have to. We, like you said, we forget that like there's a new generation. There's several new generations since we were kids, and the things that were Johnny Come Latelys for us are
Uh,
like Christmas staples for them.
I
Because
went to Spirit Halloween, and there was a huge wall of Beetlejuice stuff, and I was like, finally! And right next to it was a huge wall of Hocus Pocus stuff, and I was like, really? Okay.
yeah, Hocus Pocus is considered a classic Halloween movie.
Hmm.
It's I mean, I can see it. I can see it. There's I think like it's weird with Christmas movies. All of the other reindeer, I guess, is now in the Christmas canon, which
Is it
I
really?
always
Well,
think
it's,
is
I mean, that all of the other reindeer is pretty good, actually. And
yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I just always think it's weird that it is because it feels like it just came out when it's like no, that was 20 years ago.
yeah, that was
Like
20 years
Elf.
ago. Drew Barrymore was, still young and hot. Actually, she's still young and hot. I mean, she's my age, so she's young and hot enough
Yeah.
for me. But
Yeah, yeah. No, she's holding up pretty good for an old broad.
she was
Anyway.
still home fries era Drew Barrymore. Ooh.
Anyway, we Dennis's dad takes a big stand against his boss and against Bones, and Bones.
I forgot
Bones
the guy's name was Bones. I thought for a second I was like, no more bones. Destroy all dinosaur bones.
destroy all bones. It was like,
And Ruff is like, oh no.
all bones must die. We're gonna be invertebrates from now on. Bones are woke. We're getting rid of them.
I wish I had no bones.
I like I like what the fuck was it?
Sharks?
I like bananas because they have no bones.
Oh right.
I was trying to remember what I liked because it had no bones, and I was almost gonna say like Oscar Mayer wieners, but like no, that's
No,
not
they
what it was.
definitely have bones.
Yeah.
Often
I
from
mean,
an animal you wouldn't expect.
Yes. But it's good for you, calcium. Anyway, so Bones takes to the stage, and he explains that that I guess they're not going to do Dinosaur Land, but he is definitely still going to dig up the Wilson's yard. He is still completely dedicated to fucking up Mr. and Mrs. Wilson's lives, which is funny because again, it's like, well, it's their house. They can just say no.
They should, they should be able to say no. I mean, have you ever seen a fossil excavation happening on someone's private property?
I mean, I haven't. I mean, I'll admit, like, a lot of those paleontologists are really pushy, and if you're not careful, you will get walked all over. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That scans.
You can either let us find bones in your property, or you can let us find them in your body. How about that?
Yeah, be like, yeah, it'd be a real shame if an accident happened. Like the breaking of bones, not dinosaur bones, your bones. Yeah. So, but Mr. Wilson, no, like what's his name? Bones is all like, we need to continue digging on the Wilson's property because there's so many questions that need to be answered. And Mr. Wilson's like, what questions? And Bones is like, well, how did they get there? How old are they? Which I don't know that those are necessarily the questions that the paleontologists are trying to get from Bones.
No.
But of course, having said that, it is the perfect opportunity for Dennis to reveal that he knows the answer because he stumbled across Bones while he was burying those bones in the Wilson's yard, and Bones swore him to secrecy because he told Dennis that there would be a lot of money in it for the Wilsons. And which actually reminds me, because earlier Dennis went to Mr. Wilson, is like, you must be happy because you're going to get so much money. And Mr. Wilson is like, I'm going to lose my house and I'm more miserable than I ever have been in my life. And Dennis kind of looks very perturbed by this.
Yeah.
So I wonder if actually Dennis revealing this is actually not as innocent as it appears. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. I mean, Dennis is not very aware of what he's doing. He is only a 5.5-year-old, but his love for Mr. Wilson is pretty genuine. So
yes, yeah.
He only hurts Mr. Wilson on accident, never on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe there's something. It's hard to know. Maybe Dennis has layers, but yeah, Dennis blurts out, "Well, I know the answer because they're from your blue bag, and you put them there 3 days ago." And Bones is all like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, Bones looks very guilty, and then we just cut to him having packed everything up and having a talk with Henry, going, "Yeah, so I planted the bones. It happens."
It does?
It does?
I was unaware of the widespread fraud of the paleontology world.
This is where I started to wonder. It's like, wait a minute, is this like an anti-evolution thing? Are they going to be like, all dinosaur bones are frauds planted by the devil and his agents?
You think this was bankrolled by like some like Christian group, the way that like all those Archie comics suddenly got religious?
Well, the Coca-Cola Company, I don't know.
Well, Coca-Cola is well known for their good Christian values. So, murdering South American Unionists, and rotting your teeth, and cocaine. And
using all of your water.
Yeah, fuck Coca-Cola. But you know what? I'm still gonna keep drinking that garbage.
Yeah.
As our big
fuck
wet
Coke
president
unless you don't have Pepsi.
Yes. Anyway, so that is basically the end of Dennis the Menace, Dinosaur Hunter.
Yes. But first, let's go over all of the brands that were included in this movie. Like the scene where at breakfast, Dennis has a big box of Life cereal and a big can of Nestle's Quick.
Are those owned by Coca-Cola?
I think Coke did own the... Although, I think now they're part of, like, Unilever or something? I don't know.
Well, Coke probably owns Unilever.
And also, when Margaret is showing off her new groom doll, that is very clearly, my buddy, my buddy.
Oh, I did not notice that.
Yep. And my buddy, the doll that the Child's Play movies killed off.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I always get it. Wait, was that actually the same doll?
It was no, it's not the same doll, but Chucky from Child's Play was pretty clearly modeled on My Buddy, especially if you were there. If you were there in the toy stores in the 80s, his box is very closely modeled on the My Buddy box.
Oh, I always got them mixed up, and I was always like, man, I mean that seems like kind of I was like, wait, did they license My Buddy for this movie? But it was like,
they ended up destroying the market for My Buddy because nobody wanted to buy kids the doll that reminded them of Child's Play.
Oops. Well, I guess if I was the executive in charge of My Buddy, I'd be like, God damn it. I had this brilliant idea, dolls for boys, and it would have been big. It would have been big, except fucking Chucky.
Yep. But the bride doll was not Kid's sister because they didn't want to get into incest, I guess. Although they never specifically said that Kid's sister was the Kid's sister of My Buddy.
Oh well, is it based? It should be. Is it based on the Tiffany doll for the? What is Tiffany doll? From Child's Play?
Tiffany doll? Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that many Child's Play movies. I didn't know the female doll had a name.
I think so. I think she's Tiffany. I don't know if she's actually because he does have a girlfriend, or he has his human version had a girlfriend, and I think in Bride of Chucky she does something and turns into a doll as well. But I do not remember if she becomes like her spirit goes into a pre-existing doll the way that Chucky's did, or if like
They just make a doll out of her,
yeah,
body and soul, body and flesh.
yeah, yeah. I haven't watched that many Child's Play movies
No.
either, so I don't know. I mean, it's what's her name?
Yeah.
What's her name? Jennifer Tilly, I think.
Yes.
It's like, oh, she's always a joy to see her. So, but even in doll form.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Also,
so we see my
what
buddy.
about the scene of the what about the scene of the mall where you briefly get to look at a Haagen-Dazs stand?
Oh, well, that's one I didn't notice that. Was that another? Is that also Haagen-Dazs, also owned by the Coca-Cola company?
I think they are, yeah.
It would make sense. Otherwise, why are they giving free advertising?
Yeah. But other than that, this mall looks a little barren. There's the store right next to it is empty.
Well,
But this Popcorn Palace and Candy Emporium is, I mean, just looking at the scenes taking place in this, it makes me so nostalgic for the candy corn place that was at College Grove in San Diego. I used to go there all the time. Get something like an Astro Pop or something. I just like to go. We just wanted to go in and smell the caramel corn.
Oh, memories. I think there's also towards the end at the barbecue we see them drinking a few drinks as Minute Maid.
I see at least 2 Coke cans and 1 Minute Maid can. They don't have Minute Maid soda anymore. I think it evolved into orange Fanta.
Oh, they replaced it with the Nazi version.
Yep.
That's a choice Coke, but okay. I guess they were like, well, we see the writing on the wall.
Also, I think one thing I think is funny is that the Coke can that you see very clearly in the foreground of this one shot has. Do you have any idea what state this is supposed to take place in?
No, I don't know that they say.
Well, I'm trying to get a good look at it here. The Coke can that is right in front of Joey, or Pee-wee, seems to have it seems to have an ad on it with a like $10 off to get into the Santa Cruz Boardwalk.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains that.
It would never have occurred to me that this was California. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem California-ish to me. Oh, I see a Sprite can too.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Huh. Also, this barbecue. Okay, so we've gotten rid of Bones, who leaves with no punishment. So that's one way that this is not like UHF, where the bad guy doesn't get it over and over and over at the end. But so then they're having a luau as a send-off for George and Martha, who it turns out are going to San Diego, are going to Hawaii anyway, because they made friends with Mr. Bonfili, who was like letting them use his timeshare.
Yeah, well, hey, well, that's really nice of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting that the plot, this whole plot of George being jealous has turned out really well to the point where it's like, hey, we have this great new friend of the family who is willing to let us borrow his incredibly expensive summer home.
I think what's really happened is they have formed a polycule.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah, they can't bring that up. That would, but you would think that he'd be at the party. But
yeah, well, he's getting the condo ready for them.
Yeah,
or getting the timeshare ready. Okay, well, so and that of course, Dennis also at the party he decides he wants to have a rock beat, so he makes the luau music go faster, and then he sets off the sprinkler system, and everyone gets soaked, and shenanigans. Anyway,
yes.
Dennis the Menace.
And Margaret says, "I don't eat junk food."
What a little bitch.
Get the
Yeah,
hell
Dennis
over
is-
yourself, Margaret. God.
Yeah, it's like just like what she's like. Oh, I don't eat junk food, and Dennis's dad is just like, what a fucking cunt, fucking piece of shit.
He's like, I never drink milk.
Yeah, he's like, he's trying to give everyone Honolulu dogs, which are basically hot dogs with pineapple and coconut, and
I'm down with pineapple. Coconut on a hot dog sounds a little, wild, but I'll try it.
that's interesting because I also thought the same thing because I was like, yeah, pineapple, I can see that. Though I'm not sure why because I guess maybe the way that you have ham and pineapple on a pizza it might work.
yeah.
You know,
Maybe
but,
coconut jelly, on the other hand. That might work better.
it might. I mean, I guess my thing is like, I mean, I'll try anything on a hot dog once. You know.
I mean,
But,
even if it's not that great, it's a hot dog. You just, pick it out of the bun and shake it off if you don't like the toppings.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Unless you're a 5-year-old for whom it's very important that things not touch on the plate.
Oh, do you have a favorite hot dog topping?
I like my nude. Honestly, I really, I feel like if the hot dog doesn't speak for itself, then, you need to up your hot dog game.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I'm pretty much like I will put on whatever is available because I kind of feel obligated. I feel like, oh well, it's just a hot dog. I better put everything on. So except jalapenos, and I do not roll with fucking Chicago dogs. Fuck that shit.
What's a Chicago dog again?
That's where you put like I don't know, like banana peppers and tomatoes on it, and it's like, what the fuck? No,
Banana peppers doesn't sound bad. Tomatoes sounds really weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not digging it. I'm just like, I mean, I'm pretty much like mustard, ketchup, relish, onions. Those are all fine.
Oh, yeah. I will smother my hot dog in onions if you allow me.
Yeah. And sauerkraut is always good.
Barbecue sauce.
Yeah, barbecue sauce. Yeah, that also works. I'm not a purist. I'll accept a lot of things on a hot dog. Chili, chili cheese, corn chips. I think French fried onions are a good one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I had
anyway.
Actually, just
hot
the other
dogs.
day, I've been making more visits to the hospital than I would like this past week, but we won't get into that. But outside the parking strip for the hospital, there is an enterprising family who are selling bacon wrapped hot dogs that they're grilling right there. So I got one of those with onions and grilled peppers, and they also covered it in Japanese mayonnaise. That was fantastic. So bacon wrapped dog with Kewpie mayo. All right. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Oh, oops. Well, okay, I'll do the intro there. I was like, might cut out while we weren't here, so I guess that's the end. Good night, folks!